Hello, hello, hello. So, I was gonna be on here for a episode of Dark Watchers to do a DIY project, but due to stormy weathers outside, it put my shop out of commission as I had no power. Trust me, it was a little bit rougher than you'd think because I had 6 3D printers running and they all ended up stopping at the same time. So, so since I didn't have the project that I wanted going, I thought I'd come up here and pretty much go with what the viewers wanted. Just talk with the viewers, get your ideas on what type of videos you would like to see the Dark Watchers produce. Um, I'm not much of a video gamer, and I know that's what a lot of people out there are doing, and that's fine. Those are good videos. I mean, I watch some of them. But I don't play them enough to actually be like, I suck at video gaming. I do. I'm better at making D&D stuff like D&D tables. I can put a. You want to bring me a 70-inch screen TV and tell me to put it in a TV? I can do that. You want to make your maps. If you want me to make you a table surrounded by 5 tablets so everybody has access to D&D Beyond and make it to where there's no wires whatsoever showing, I can do that. You want me to build you an army of miniatures? I can do that. But I am not really good at video games because I really like to, when I do play video games, I like to listen to the story of the game. So I'm not really much for like Call of Duty. I do like BioShock. That's a pretty good one. I like that one. Um, I like Fallout. All of the Fallout series. I like those. But they've pretty much had their own followers, and I'm not the best out there. Um, and the plans is to get the Dark Watchers to stream every day of the week. And because of that, and the fact that we want to get in more viewers and people that would like us, and you know, kind of spread our what influences we do have out there. I was thinking that we could just sit and chat. We can either plan a campaign, um, kind of figure out who the big bad guy is, and we'll kind of go in reverse of what I normally do. Normally, I let the players build the big bad guy as I try to not say use the players' weaknesses against them, but they're kind of the choices. When this choice goes this way instead of going this way. Basically the using their choices to build the bad guy. If they want to play hero 100% of the time, only take out the bad guys, then I'll bring out the Joker. If they want to leave an area uncleared, one of the leftovers is getting stronger as they're moving around. If they ignore a kraken at the sea, well, the tidal wave, the destruction he was going to do happens. But what if we were to actually figure out who the bad guy was first? That was kind of one of the ideas. The other idea was that, I can go on here. I brought a paper, colored pencils, and we create a map the old-fashioned way. Or we can go on here and we can design a D&D prop that you would have at a physical table. You know, the prop that I was supposed to do today was I was going to be making Garrett's potion box that he got gifted to him from Artos. And so I have the wood and I have the cloth on the inside. And it was basically going to be a box that just pretty much fit the 4 potions. But there was like the corners were going to be encrusted with a dark ebony wood. Encased in a dark ebony wood. All the way around the corners. And is basically going to have his flaming logo on the front. The lids are going to be magnets here to keep the lid shut. It was going to hold the 4 potion bottles. And it's going to have a kind of red velvet of felt on the inside. Sorry, my art sucks. And it was going to house roughly 4 of these with the corks and the dice representing for each one of them. So that way they each fit in their own slot. And unfortunately, with the power going out today, I did not have access to my saws to get all those cut. So I am coming to all of you to see what type of ideas you want. If you want to see stuff like this, or if you want to see weird concepts of dice towers. I mean, I was thinking about it making a dice tower that instead of it just being a normal square box, it literally was shaped something more like this, where each one of the actual sides are the ramps that are normally in there, because the normal dice box normally has ramps that goes through here and then drops it down and then just bounces back and forth between the individual ones. But my thoughts were, what if we were to make one that looks like it actually uses the outside of it that it bounces off of, and then it falls to a tray. Yeah, no, my art sucks. I don't have my ruler with me right now. But like, yeah, it would just constantly go back and forth to make the dice roller. You know, or, you know, build one that literally folds up. Side here. Since there's going to be open there. You know, or do you want to see them made out of acrylics? Anything like that. You know, I'm good with my hands. Granted, my drawing sucks, but I normally have grid paper to draw on. But I couldn't find that today. I'm going to leave that pretty much up to you guys. I'm going to be on here for at least another hour. See if anybody wants to show up. Which, if they do, they do. If they don't, I mean, I don't blame them. We're a small YouTube channel. But we're trying to get somewhere. We've got 63 followers. And I know my voice ain't the best to listen to. It probably sounds monotoned and boring as hell. But I have ideas. And some of them I'd like to use. And some of them we have like for examples, we got stream loots that we can use on Friday campaigns that allows you to change the story. You know, hey, there's a mimic somewhere. You know, we had 4 mimics played, and the 4 mimic tokens have been used up. They're just abiding their time and waiting. We had one, Miss Pringles. She's one of our followers. She summoned a tsunami in the player's dreams, at the least, but that was basically because they were in a dream state when they were attacked by a shadow wolf. But to make sure that that token was used, me and Miss Pringles talked, and Miss Pringles is actually a god in their campaign. To give everybody a warning. And so what me and her came up with was, you know, there's a kraken that's causing this tidal wave. And I was giving them a warning that if they don't do anything, Neverwinter gets hit. Okay. And I would have definitely, if the players would have not chose that one, I would have definitely hit Neverwinter with a tsunami. And like, for example, our Thursdays stream, it's a paint stream that I normally do, is actually sponsored this week. I'll get more into that on Thursday. They paid for the mini, they've paid for the paints, and I'm going to be painting the miniature and giving the miniature a backstory, like I normally do. Give it a little story, kind of like our Treebeard, kind of like our Manticore that I've painted. The White Dragon, I don't think I gave it backstory this time. I actually just went by color and just painted it. Let's see, what else? Who else did we paint? We painted an owlbear. You know, that one was a cross between a barn owl and the bear versus the normals. And it was more of a helpful one. I do know that Thursday stream is going to be a tad bit more different because we're going to jump into the lore of the monster as well, versus just making up my own story for it. Because I want to use the lore of it to actually give it its reasons of why it is what it is. Why it's a good guy, why it's a bad guy. You know, it's easy to make a bad guy, you know? But it's a lot harder to make a nice guy. You know, and we can dictate before the episode starts whether it's a good guy or a bad guy. But with that, I kind of need the viewers' inputs on that. Because I've been a DM for 15 years, and I have a lot of ideas. But to me, most of the time, they're just like, they're ideas that I think are cool. And other people are like, you know, I don't really care for that. But if you get an idea if you get an idea and somebody agrees with that idea, and you just keep going forward and forward, then the only way you have is in one direction. And that's to just keep going and keep building, doing the hard work. You know, like the Dark Watchers as a Twitch. the players on Friday, we all got the idea of, you know what? Let's just make the Twitch. Nothing's really going to change. We all have ADHD. We all have funny things to do. We've got our own quirks. You know, we still play D&D. And, I mean, granted, I'm not the best for online DMs. But I'm sure going to try. Because I've only been an online DM for about 10 months. 10 years, yeah. Like, that'll work. But into each of its own ideas, I've had a lot of things like go wrong with online being an online DM. And so I just try. You know, I try to take whatever inputs I can and hope that I do something for somebody. You know, if we get one person to enjoy one of our videos, then we're making some type of difference, even if it's just for that one person. But we have 63 followers. So that means 63 people liked where we were. And I want to see as far as we can go. I want to be able to take all of my Friday players and take them to TwitchCon so I can actually physically shake their hands. Because they're great players. But the only way I can do that is with the viewers' help. And that's why we also were coming up with the idea that if you choose to be a follower for us this week from last Friday to this coming Friday, for those whole 7 days, anybody that became a follower within those 7 days and subscribe to our channel for with that week, we will be donating $1 to Extra Life for every subscription we get. And that subscription is going to be used to help pay for hospital bills of kids that parents can't afford the hospital bills. Because we just want to make a difference. We want to show people that D&D isn't always perfect. But as long as you have your friends and you have time to do it, that you can make one hell of a story. And so this is just me trying to ask you guys, what would make you guys think, you know, that'd be a really cool story for the Dark Watchers? Or that'd be a really cool concept to watch somebody build. I'm not afraid of experimenting with anything when it comes to DIYs or story plots or anything like that. So, I mean, I implore to you, what would you like to see? What would you like to talk about? You know, I don't really talk about religions or about politics, because that just causes some unneeded situations to arise. But I'm here to ask you, what would you like to do? What would you like to plan for? Would you like to see something happen on Friday's campaign? Or would you like to come up with an idea about a dice tower that doesn't follow any normal ideas. It doesn't follow the whole box square idea. It doesn't follow the whole in your pocket idea. It literally looks like a lightning bolt that you drop dice down. Or do you actually want to see me build like the D&D prop boxes for the jars? You know, I mean, they're there. I'm designing the labels for these guys on on a website to actually name off each of the potions, and each one will be a regular healing potion, a greater, and supreme and superior, I believe, are the other two. But the situation that I run into is running on a Twitch is I can't show you all the cuts and everything. I can come up with ideas and point out which ones that and what tools I use, but it doesn't really give you the full details. But I could definitely prep the work, cut them out beforehand, and we could literally put it together. And I can leave whatever I use. Like if I make a stencil for it, I can definitely make a stencil, a copy of the stencil and put it up there. You want to plan a story together? You know what? Let's plan the story. Or if you think maybe just painting another miniature would be a good idea, I'm more willing to do that too. Because I have plenty of paints. So the question is, what would you like to see? Let's see. All right. You know what? Let's till we figure something out. Let's just do a spider web. Let's do a small one-shot planning. Alright, so let's go with the main big bad guy. We'll start that right in the middle. You know, what is he? Something simple. Something hard. Let's see. What do we do? I mean, we can choose, I don't know. Let's choose. Oh, that's a little cliche if we chose a dragon. I mean, it is Dungeons and Dragons, but hey. What if we were to choose something different? Beholders are kind of the same thing. What if the main boss wasn't even on our plane? All right, maybe the main boss or this bad guy is actually on the shadow plane. And he is trying to cause the shadow plane to merge with the material plane. Alright. So we definitely know it's going to have to be either a spellcaster or something higher up. But we also know that in order to plane shift, you need a specific material item for shifting the planes. It's kind of like a tuning fork, just attuned to that plane. So we know we need that. So we need to figure out where we can find that, because I mean, it's, if you could pick it up and buy it, that would make it pretty kind of, it would pretty much make it easy. You know, now if somebody already has it, now they've got to barter with it. You know, role play it, or just downright kill the person. But there's a chance that person doesn't have it on them. So, what would we do? I'd say we'd probably need a magician or a magic caster stuck in the material, or in the shadow plane. All right, so they'd have to have the ability to cast Arcana. So it would either be a warlock, a wizard, maybe an evil sorcerer, so would it be, I don't know, would it be a troll? Maybe it'll be a troll. Let's make him a dire troll. Dire troll that can cast spells. That'd be kind of interesting. Has the ability to heal himself. So, now, since we know he's a dire troll, what's his name? So we'll say it's Ulik Bone Crusher. Alright, that works. Alright, Ulik Bone Crusher. So, I think it's going to get rid of the whole warlock idea and the wizard idea. So we have a dire troll, a sorcerer dire troll, who is stuck in the shadow plane, and he's trying to get the shadow plane to collapse on the material plane. That's pretty weirdly sounding there, because that means that our dire troll, in order to be able to cast, is going to have to be a very charismatic person. And he's going to definitely need some power to collapse an entire plane of existence. And I'm going to say that he's probably succeeding. Maybe parts of the shadow realm or shadow plane are actually bleeding in, bringing other like shadow plane monsters into into the material plane. So if that was to happen, it's going to bring all the evils from the material plane, or all from the shadow plane, into the material realm. That's going to be a pretty drastic thing. So that means there's going to be, roughly during weaker spots, there's going to be maybe weaker monsters that are able to get through. Now later on, the other ones are going to get through. Alright, so right now, what does that leave? That's going to leave, for monsters anyways, that's going to leave what? Let's see. That might bring like some mist. Maybe the blood mist from the shadow plane. Maybe, I don't know, maybe some bat-like creatures. Gargoyles, maybe? You know, there might be some zombies from there. Crossing over has caused some of the zombies to come back to life, being imbued. Maybe some evil spirits or dark spirits start infecting dead bodies, bringing them back to life. I kind of think it's actually, I think it's actually the Shadowfell that we're talking about, by the way. Just the darker version of the material plane that we live in. Maybe we've got a Shadowfell. Shadowfell King. Or maybe when the Dire Troll starts coming back, he actually summons a very old necromancer. I like that. Let's go use that. That just starts summoning armies of undead. And the longer it takes, the more there is. More villages. How are you doing today, Trigger Happy? Basically, I'm just, since we had a storm up here, my the electricity got knocked out for 4 hours after I got off work, so I wasn't able to actually plan for. I wasn't able to actually build the boxes that I originally planned to do. Let's see if I can zoom in. I'm not using a pen, so it might be a little bit harder to read, but basically I'm coming up with a one-shot or something to use. Basically just planning around, seeing what other people, what other ideas that show up. And I'm trying to get into the habit of streaming at 8:30 every day. Hopefully, if I can, start going at 6 o'clock. But yeah, so my original idea was to actually build a potion box similar to that these little potion bottles with dice and everything are built to represent each of the characters. Like I was originally going to start with Garrick's, and as you can tell, this one was just regular healing potion, as it's just got a +2 to it underneath the cap. I have the labels. I'm designing the labels, but unfortunately, with no power to my computer, I wasn't able to get anything done today. So I just started asking myself weird questions. So right now we've come up with the fact that we have Ulrich Bonecrusher, who is a sorcerer dire troll that is in the shadow plane, and he's trying to collapse the shadow plane or the Shadowfell on to the material plane, the plane that you live in or your character lives in. But in doing so, while it's happening, it's starting to bleed into the material plane, which is bringing some of the evil creatures that are able to sneak through like the holes in the webbing into the material plane, which would bring Fireball Felix back, actually. And this is Fireball Felix. He is a manticore that actually got trapped in the shadow plane. And so, while in the shadow plane, or the Shadowfell, he was corrupted by the just darkness of the Shadowfell. And this would be the perfect opportunity for him to return back to material plane. But from living in the Shadowfell for so long, and it corrupting him, he's definitely going to be on a rampage. And also, it's going to also bring back like zombies as evil spirits that have died in the Shadowfell. Will find a body or a host, bringing maybe a very old necromancer back from the dead. I'm trying to fix this. Let's see. So I'm just here gabbing. Literally, that's all I'm doing is gabbing. Let's see. All right. So, all right. So we know Fireball Felix is going to come back through here, which is going to bring us back over here. Fireball Felix. Yeah, and I would say with that also Fireball Felix, because he's been empowered by the darkness of the Shadowfell, will actually be stronger and might actually be a pretty good mini boss or halfway boss for a party of 5. But in order for like the party to go over there, they've got to figure out how to get to the Shadowfell, Because they can't just go out and buy the component. They actually got to find it. They've got to recon, talk to people. You know, maybe look up a book in a library. So we know that they've got to look for that. Sorry, it's not so dramatic or anything like that. It's just me writing down notes. But if you're just joining in, just wondering what we're doing, we're literally just chatting, talking about D&D, about things they would like to see for the Dark Watchers. I plan to be streaming Monday through Friday, starting at 8 o'clock. And if certain streams require me, I'll come on a little bit sooner. I know Thursdays we have the painting stream. I'm not much of a video gamer, so it's not really something that I will be able to be the best at. I suck at video games. I play them for the stories, so I'm not really much for like Call of Duty or anything like that, but I definitely would watch a game or play a game or, you know, talk to somebody about a game. You know, if we just want to sit here and talk, hey, I'm up for talking too. If we want to make more painting streams other than just Thursdays, I can do that too. Come up with weird situations like a sorcerer dire troll trying to merge the material plane with the Shadowfell. We can do that. But we are also this week, again, just to bring it up, just for anybody if they're joining new, we are actually, for this week, if you subscribe to the Dark Watchers, you know, even if you just use your Amazon Twitch for 1 month, this week, from last Friday to this coming Friday, we will be donating $1 to Extra Life. They help pay for children's hospital bills so parents don't have to. They are actually one of the things where Dungeons and Dragons, Wizards of the Coast, actually make things for them. Their most recent thing was, I believe, was the Sapphire Dragon for 5e. And as soon as I saw that, I bought 20 of them, and I just started giving away codes. Because I believe in what Extra Life does. And I believe that they deserve all of our help. As much as they can. And it'll get rid of these pesky ads that'll show up every now and then. I know it's not much, and I know this stream, today's stream, may not be what you're looking for, and that's okay. On Mondays, I think I'm just going to build maps. Come up with a layout, build the story for those maps. Like yesterday, we came up with the teleporting tavern. It's a 3-story building. That's a random encounter. I will literally add it to my list of random encounters that fit the story that they're playing in, or it doesn't. It's kind of a weird building, but it's definitely something that was just came up with as we were building the map. I even was working on loading it into Foundry, so I was learning a little bit extra there. Because they update Foundry. Foundry I like. Extra Life I like. D&D I like. You know, I don't mind sitting here and talking about you. As long as we don't get political or religious. Because that starts to cause some heated arguments. But I'm up for just about anything. If you want me to sit here drawing weird cat emojis on a piece of paper until I get better, you know what? I'm up for it. It might be funny. Make a rainbow kitty. You say yeah, but you don't tell me for which one. How are you doing, Trigger Happy? How about a unicorn? Unicorn. Alright. You know what? Let's give it a try. Let's see how bad I can butcher a unicorn. Alright. Let's see. I don't know. We can start simple. We'll start simple. We'll just work our way up level by level. Alright, so we got our pointy ears. I am so gonna butcher this unicorn, and I'm so sorry. I hear you there. You just got to take your rest. Life one point at a time. Like we were saying, life's always going to throw you curveballs. Like a unicorn. You know, it's going to show up sooner or later. Trying to remember how the shoulder blade goes on the front of a thing. That should be the one thing that kills me is this front leg. don't think horse hooves are split, are they? No, they're full on round circle. And then you put the unicorn thing there. If it has a split, it's there because it's got a crack. Okay. Now I'm going off memory on this. So, would you bear with me here? We know the knee. Got the hair. Alright, let's see. So, we just have, you know what, it's kind of like a, if I remember correctly, they kind of have kind of a, I don't know, almost similar to a chicken leg for the front. Just a little bit higher up. Definitely way too low there. It's definitely more like right around here somewhere. But the front legs, I think, skinny out way sooner than the back legs. If I can remember correctly. I'm going off memory for a horse here. Looks more like a donkey, though. We're going to have a unicorn donkey. How's that sound? Legs are definitely a little bit, normally a little bit longer, so these ones, they have knees, so we can do this. Let's turn that around. Let's lift up the front leg. See if that does us any good. Turn this. I am torturing this poor little guy. You made me do this. You made me do this, Trigger Happy. It's gonna be a Frankenstein. Let's see. Well, one of the things that I do know is I suck at drawing hair. 100% I suck at drawing hair. So, I am definitely going to make sure this guy has some type of fur. This guy, this girl. Whatever we want it. Whatever. Whatever it wants to be. Since it's a unicorn, even if it is a donkey unicorn, is most likely a female. Because I believe there's a different name and male ones look a tad bit differently. It's a good thing we're not doing a story about Shrek, because I think Donkey would really suck with a unicorn. Oh, so pretty and witty and gay. I know nobody wanted to hear me sing, but you got me. You got it started. I blame you for this. I do not take responsibility for this guy's hospital bills. So, Trigger Happy, tell me about Kersey. I probably butchered that name. And if I did, I'm sorry. No, I'm definitely not paying for the grooming bills either. Even though you can't really tell, color's not really showing up in the camera. I don't know if moving down lower would be a better bet. Cersei. Okay, Cersei. That's right. Kersey is the dragon. I think you guys spell him pretty close to the same. I think he just starts his with a K. Alright. Alright, so we got white fur. Alright, so let's go ahead and get rid of this horn real quick. Let's see if I can do some horn justice here. Let's see if we can fix that horn. Yes, and that is the whole reason why I did not require you to change your name. Because I think that just story wise would be funny. I'm not really sure how well this shows up in camera. I can't really tell how that looks on camera. Let's see. I think the eyes are going to be the fun part. They definitely kind of have a cheek out. Right here. Their faces are normally a little bit more curved, but donkeys aren't. They're a little bit more profound. Horses, I believe, are a little bit more triangular in shape. I don't want to make this face too big. Alright, let's go ahead and do this. We'll go ahead and get rid of that part. Alright, so we know. If all else fails, we can definitely have a over improved eye. My artwork is just horrible. Did you just subscribe, Miss Pringles? So, yeah. So, yes, he actually gifted a lot so that we could actually... Yeah, and he was gifting a lot. I think he gave one to Trigger Happy as well. Um, because this week, from our last stream last Friday to this week, this Friday, every subscription that we get, we will be donating $1 to the Extra Life Foundation. And it's a place for helping parents so that they don't have to pay for hospital bills for their sick kids. And we are at, I believe we're at 5 followers right now. Maybe a little bit more. I actually didn't look, actually. And that's on me. But I believe we're at 5. But we may have a little bit more than that. And that's awesome. Because the more we get, the more we can donate to them. And it'd be just awesome. And today's stream was supposed to be about building a little DIY healing potion prop. But we didn't. But there was a storm here that lost power. Yeah, that was actually last Friday, I believe. And that was what we're doing. Today, we're rolling a unicorn and talking. At least trying to. Technically, I want to say it's more of a unidonkey. I have not picked up a pencil in a while to draw. This is actually quite fun. I will tell you that much. I wonder if I can find any of my old artwork that I used to do. I'm not spotting it right now off the back. It might be in one of the boxes. I'll have to look that up. Ooh, my chair is really squeaky. But how have you been, Miss Pringles? Thank you, Trigger Happy. Even though it's definitely a unidonkey. It is too short. Those legs are too short. But I don't know if I can get much length out of them. Let's see. Alright, let's kind of fade this part out here. Let's thin it up a little bit. See if that works. Yeah, that definitely works. Definitely thins it out a little bit more. Makes it look more like an arm. Or a leg. The eye is still going to be quite fun. Let's see. What would happen if we just put an oval shape? Oval shape there. What happens about an oval shape? How's that look? Oh, that's kind of bad. Look at this. Let's see. Look at the... Let me round this off a little bit more. So yeah, we picked up last Friday, but yeah, I actually had some family issues come up that actually put us on pause for the 3 weeks we were off. Um, the good news is that everything has worked out perfectly. Um, we'll definitely still have to go back to the doctors in 6 months to make sure everything is still clear. But as of right now, everything is good. Everything is golden, and life's gonna knock us down, but we're getting back up and we're fighting at it. Um, Swear to God, this looks more like a dragon's head attached to a donkey's body with a rainbow coming out of its butt. The artist is always critical of its own work. Yes, and I appreciate that. Now, I'm sorry I didn't leave any notes or anything like that. It kind of hit us, and being a father of 2 kids, I didn't want to put all that weight on everybody to where everybody else was caring for my kids when I'm a perfect adult that can do it myself. And mom just needed some time off for a little bit. And I mean, we've heard my kids in the stream a couple of times, but all in all, they're quite calm. But somebody's got to make dinner when somebody's in bed. Ooh. Oh, broke that. What about you, Miss Pringles? How's everything been going for you? I can't really tell if you guys can see. You know, with everything that happened in the last couple of years, I think getting out of the house is kind of panicky for everybody. But if you're trying to get out of the house, hey, yeah, more power. I mean, I'm stuck out of the house for 16 hours a day. Probably less than that. It takes me an hour to drive to work. I work a 12-hour shift, and then it takes me an hour to drive back home. So, I mean, yeah. And then I come home and plan for D&D, draw unicorns. Yeah. So, but unfortunately, me being a truck driver, that tends to be my go-to. You know, but I wish you luck. I mean, even if you were to just go to a like out in the wilderness somewhere. I mean, I've got a small wooded patch in the back. If I just need time to myself, I just go sit in the woods. You know, I don't know exactly where I'm going to end up, but I just walk. Yeah, that sucks. No, I don't blame you there. I do not. I'm sorry that that happened. What else should we do with the unicorn? Trigger Happy or Miss Pringles or anybody else joining us today? Because I can't think of anything else unless we give it. Got a ground to stand on at least. All right. Wow, this is so bad. Alright, so we got our ground. So, let's give them some clouds then. Well, let's go with the light blue here. No, we want the light blue for the sky. So in that case, we'll have to go back to the pencil. Well, if you're part of the Discord, you can always post them up in there. No, I actually I did plan on making a creation channel there, so everybody can show their arts. Cause even though I think he's bad or she's bad, I'm still throwing it up in general because, or in creation. So I might have to make that. But I can understand that. Were you talking about in the actual channel, or were you talking about for Twitch as in its whole? I was kind of touching up on your last comment. Were you talking about Twitch, or were you talking about the actual server? Because when I reread it, I kind of was thinking that there was two different ones. Let's see. Okay, no, never mind. Yeah. I actually plan on making a creations kind of channel for that. Okay. I will make sure that that happens tonight. How does that look? All right. Well, we have ourselves a unicorn. There we go. I mean, not the artist, but hey. basically, I'm just going to be posting, going on Twitch every day. Except for Saturday and Sunday. I'm going to take Saturday and Sunday off. Well, so again, if any followers out there want to subscribe, we actually are donating $1 to Extra Life this week. And until then, I will see you guys tomorrow. See you all. And we have our unicorn. I will post that up in creations in the Discord server. And we will go from there.